Babies just sit
And the
there
babies are like, yeah, man, Dr. Patel, give me that spinal tap.
they're like, give me sugar water, my pacifier, and you can do whatever you want. I don't care.
So what's happening in my kids when they have a fever? Like what's happening in their little bodies?
In their little body. So basically, their immune systems are setting up the right scenario to go to battle. Pyrogens. Pyrogens are these chemicals that are released by either the foreign invaders, bacteria, viruses themselves, or triggered from the immune system
Sound
to
like
the hypothalamus.
pyromaniacs.
Kind of like that,
Like
right?
fire,
fever. But pyrogens will go to your hypothalamus. Pyrogens will go to your hypothalamus and drive up the body's temperature. Now, experts think that at a slightly elevated temperature, the chemical reactions used by the immune system are more efficient. And so the immune system almost gets a competitive advantage over foreign invaders, like some microorganisms which don't fare so well at higher temperatures. You see a lot of this in the animal kingdom. Lizards sometimes will even crawl to a place where they can elevate their body temperature to fight off infections.
Like a hot rock?
Like a hot rock.
What about when my kids are shivering and shaking from fever? What's happening there?
Basically, your body's internal thermostat has almost like a new set point, right? And your body's like, this is where I want to be. But the rest of your body is not quite there yet. The body will react by trying to also generate heat. And so shivering, feeling the chill, so you go and grab blankets because your body's basically trying to warm itself up to get to the new set point. Everything is whacked, but it's all in the name of competitive advantage for your immune system over the foreign invaders.
Competitive advantage.
Competitive advantage. But while your body's achieving this...
That's a good rebranding of fever. Like if fever got a PR company and fever was like, I don't know, like I kind of have like a bad image, like can we do something about that? And like a good PR person would be like, how about competitive advantage to like, you know, defeat invaders? Fever's like, yeah. So this I feel is like a mixed message that I'm always hearing. On the one hand, fever is a sign that your body's doing what it's supposed to do to fight an infection.
Totally.
On the other hand, we're told to reduce fevers. Like, which is it? What am I supposed to be doing? Letting the fever do its job, which is what I do, or reduce the fever?
I don't think it's a bad thing to let fevers do their jobs because, again, fevers have a certain protective measure to them. Again, there's a threshold. We want to make sure we understand the underlying reason why your kid has a fever and that it's safe to let it run its course.
What are some methods to reducing fever? I know you can use ibuprofen or acetaminophen. How about ice baths? My grandmother used to threaten me with ice baths. Like, is that still a thing, or is that like back in the day?
I don't know if
is
it's
that Model T Fords and ice baths. Do you do that anymore? No more.
I don't know if we do the full-on like professional football player ice bath, but it's certainly okay to try like a cooling towel or to lower the temperature.
Cooling towel.
Just to kind of make things a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, if you've checked in with your doctor and you feel like it's safe and it's okay to drop the fever, I get it. Fevers make children uncomfortable, their hearts rate a little faster, they seem fussy, and you might want to make them feel more comfortable. Wow. Experts think acetaminophen may work directly at your body's thermostat, the hypothalamus, to drop the core temperature. And ibuprofen may block the chemical signals which go there. So they both essentially work in the same endpoint. They tend to work differently in certain children.
When is it super serious? Like, when do you really, really have to worry about a fever?
So I know I've harped on this like 15 times, but if your child looks sincerely ill or is not acting like themselves, I don't even care what the temperature is. You should check in with the doctor. But specifically talking about a fever, any fever in young babies, especially under 3 months, is serious unless proven otherwise. And I say serious because in young babies, they're at a higher risk for getting really bad infections that can affect the brain. It might necessitate blood tests or even a spinal tap, which is not a big deal in babies. They take it like champs, I promise.
How do you know that?
I've done them. And babies just sit
And the
there
babies are like, yeah, man, Dr. Patel, give me that spinal tap.
They're like, give me sugar water, my pacifier, and you can do whatever you want, I don't care. Because here's the thing.
What's the thing?
If people were to call doctors for every single fever, we would get called nonstop because kids get fevers all the time. And the majority of infectious fevers, meaning fevers caused by an infection, are from viruses. These are mostly things like the common cold, not very serious. But some virus infections can be dangerous.
So it's always best to keep a child with a fever at home and to protect yourself with basic hygiene, especially hand washing.
The fever, a fever, temperatures, they're all a symptom. They're not themselves.
They're not the illness.
They're not the illness.
Not the
exactly.
thing you're worried about.
It's not the
Okay.
disease, it's a symptom. So the things that are gonna cause a fever, so you're talking about infections like ear infections, pneumonia, UTI, things like that. You also have chronic disease, rheumatologic disease, autoimmune, autoinflammatory conditions, even certain medications, vaccinations. These can all cause fevers.
I love fever. That's not legit fever.
Not a
what
legit
about spring
fever.
fever?
Not spring
All right,
fever.
go back to like real fever.
Not-
I'm sorry. Go back to real fever. No
Also
one-
not teething. You can get a slightly, maybe a little bit of an elevated body temperature, but you're not gonna get into fever category.
No. Teething is because you're like, the baby's teeth are real busy coming out, right? That's more like the teeth are trying to come out.
Possibly.
And so they were a little bit.
But it's a cool
warmer.
process inside the body when your immune system actually needs to tell you to get a fever.
All right. I like when you're just like, I'm gonna keep talking, Bethany, because you're not making sense. Alok, stop doing yoga. Stop with the yoga. You just came back. Stop with the yoga.
I'm just in the mood. It's
Yeah,
just like,
you
my
just-
body's flowing, I got good energy.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. You can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Those
Addicted to hot
poses.
yoga.